You're watching 5 Star Live, presented by East Tennessee Spine and Sport. Tennessee's #1 high school football show. Live on location from the biggest game of the week. Live interviews from coaches and players, along with highlights, predictions, and up-to-date information about this week's biggest games. Your hosts, Jesse Smithy and Kevin Smith, with decades of experience covering and coaching high school sports, along with a 5-star preps team, will break down region outlooks and what's to come for your favorite prep football teams and top players. Now, get ready for the most comprehensive high school football coverage in Tennessee on 5 Star Live.
Are you ready for some football?
We're ready for some football, baby.
Welcome in, everyone, to 5 Star Live, presented by East Tennessee Spine and Sport. I'm Jesse Smithy, owner of 5starpreps.com, and in my left hand are all the playoff pairings for round 1 of the TSSAA playoffs for our area teams. Now, there are still games going around in the mid-state and in West Tennessee, but we have tracked all night long, pregame, halftime, and into the second half, all the winners for tonight's action. So we are going to unveil tonight's playoff bracket pairings for first round matchups in the TSSAA playoffs, which begin next week. We certainly thank all of you for joining us tonight. Should you have followed at halftime or pregame show, certainly thank you to Gold Star Nutrition for hosting us here tonight. Make sure you stop by up here at Gold Star Nutrition for all your supplemental needs. They have a cryotherapy chamber, everything you need as an athlete or workout warrior to remain in the best of shape and get to where you want to be in your fitness goals. Spine and Sport been with us all season long and will continue to be into the playoffs. So thank you, East Tennessee Spine and Sport. If you got an athlete dinged up tonight, get them to one of the 6 area locations around Knox County and get them rested up, treated, and hopefully you guys qualified for the playoffs. Get that young man back on the field and back in action for your teams. All right, like I said, all night long we've been tracking results. A lot of shootouts, a lot of drama-filled games. We're going to get to that right now. We're going to start off with the area pairings for Class 1A. Our final game just went final. Greenback defeated Oakdale 20-14. So our first matchup will be Oakdale, a 4 seed out of Region 2, going on the road up to Cloudland. Oakdale had played well through the first half of the year, but kind of hit some tough spots with some injuries on the latter half of the year. They fall to a 4th seed. So Oakdale on the road at Cloudland. Oliver Springs lost that championship game to Coalfield a week ago. They are the 2 seed. They will host a first round playoff game against Cosby. So that's definitely a winnable game for Oliver Springs. Greenback, as I mentioned, just beat Oakdale a few minutes ago. So they are the 3 seed out of Region 2. They will go on the road to Unaka. And then our final area pairing in 1A, Coalfield won the region championship. Likely the best team in 1A in this area. They will host North Green in a first round playoff game next week. So let's go over that again in 1A. Oakdale on the road at Cloudland. Cosby on the road at Oliver Springs. Greenback on the road at Unaka. And North Green on the road at Coalfield. Moving on to Class 2A. Just a few matchups here to look at. We'll start up at the top of the bracket. Oneida fell to a 4 seed there in Region 2. They will go on the road up to Hampton, which has been one of the better programs in the state. I believe they made it all the way to the state championship game a year ago. So Oneida will go on the road to Hampton. Happy Valley on the road to Monterey. Rockwood drops to a 3 seed tonight. They will go on the road and face South Green. That's a winnable game for Rockwood. South Green no longer has that dual threat quarterback that was a Mr. Football contender for the last couple of years. And then finally, Cumberland Gap, a 4 seed, will go on the road to York. So let's go over 2A one more time. Oneida on the road at Hampton, Happy Valley at Monterey, Rockwood at South Green, and Cumberland Gap against York High School. York will be hosting that game as a region champion. All right, let's move on to 3A. Alcoa has reigned supreme in this classification for so long. They are going for their 8th consecutive state championship. A lot of local teams in 3A. We got 2 quadrants to go over here. Let's start in quadrant number 1. Austin East back in the playoffs as a 4 seed on the road at Chucky Doak. Chucky Doak has a really strong run game this year, kind of sneaky good with that run game, so keep an eye on that one. Gatlinburg-Pittman tonight wins against Pigeon Forge, wins the 2 seed 21-20. Pigeon Forge scored with 1:21 left in the game, decided to go for 2 at home against the rivals, did not get that 2-point conversion, so Gatlinburg-Pittman gets the 2 seed. They get the home playoff game against Unicoi County, who has a young man who's approaching 2,000 yards rushing. So if you think Pigeon Forge can run the ball, Unicoi County definitely can with Nehemiah Edwards, one of the better running backs in Upper East Tennessee. So that could be a sneaky good playoff matchup there in the first round of 3A. Again, Unicoi County at Gatlinburg-Pittman. Pigeon Forge, they lost the game tonight. They dropped to a 3 seed. They will go on the road next week at West Green. And then finally, the last game in quadrant number 1, Alcoa, again, 7-time state champion, 20 all-time state championships, will go up against Johnson County in round 1. Quadrant number 2, we look at Grundy County going on the road to Sweetwater. Sweetwater wins their first region championship tonight in more than 20 years. So congratulations to the Wildcats down there. A big win tonight for Sweetwater. McMinn Central had a chance to possibly get that region championship. They dropped to a 3 seed with that loss tonight against Sweetwater. McMinn Central will go on the road to Sequatchie County in round 1. Loudon has worked their way all the way back up to a 2 seed, believe it or not, given tiebreakers that have happened. They win against Kingston tonight in dominant fashion, and they will go face Cannon County, which will be the visiting team in round 1. So Loudon, again, a 2 seed now, will host a playoff game. And then finally, the last game in quadrant number 2, Brainerd at Giles County. One more time, let's go over it. Austin East at Chucky Doak, Unicoi County at Gatlinburg-Pittman, Pigeon Forge at West Green, Johnson County at Alcoa, Grundy County at Sweetwater, McMinn Central at Sequatchie County, Cannon County at Loudon, and Brainerd at Giles County. All right, we're going to catch a quick break here on 5 Star Live, presented by East Tennessee Spine and Sport. I'm going to catch my breath. I'm going to go ahead and turn the pages over to 4, 5, and 6A. So stick with us here on 5 Star Live tonight. Come back, we'll unveil the playoff pairings in those 3 classifications and start to hop into Division 2 as well right here tonight on 5 Star Live. Don't go anywhere.
North Knox Siding and Windows is a complete exterior home improvement company that can help you with all your exterior needs. Visit us today at 5618 North Broadway.
When you shop at Elliott's, your journey is our purpose.
If I do it once, I do it again. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up, I'm just doing me, everything is on me, oh you matter what. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up, I'm just doing me, everything is on me, oh you matter what. Add it up, told her if it's all me, everything is on me, gon' back it up.
Welcome back to 5 Star Live, presented by East Tennessee Spine and Sport, as we broadcast from our playoff War Room show up here in North Knoxville at Gold Star Nutrition, a longtime supporter of 5 Star Preps. So definitely appreciate them allowing us to do our playoff War Room show for the 3rd year in a row. As promised, we're going to turn the page into 4A, 5A, and 6A. Remember, these are area playoff pairings for our teams in East Tennessee. There's still games going on in the Mid-State in West Tennessee. So on 5starpreps.com later tonight when I get home, I'll start typing out the entire pairings for all of TSSAA and get those up on the site. That'll be free for everyone to view. All right, 4A. Fulton loses tonight at Carter, 72-45, gave up nearly 700 yards of offense in that loss to Carter. So Fulton drops to a 4 seed. They will play on the road at Greenville, undefeated team. Greenville was off this week in Week 11, and Greenville has state championship aspirations. A lot of historical matchups between these two teams. Used to be big rivals about a decade ago, so definitely fun to see Fulton and Greenville matching up once again. Gibbs dropped 71 points tonight on South Doyle on senior night. Had black helmets, black pants, dark mode activated for Coreyton, and they drop a big win tonight. They get a 2 seed, believe it or not. A home playoff game. Where they'll play that home playoff game, I don't know. Central, where they played a few games this year, has a home playoff game as well. So maybe Gibbs goes back up to Carson Newman, plays again. Maybe they work out some deal with Granger, because they play Granger in the first round of the 4A playoffs. Gibbs, again, a 2 seed coming out of region number 2. Carter got that big win over Fulton, 72-45. Their first win over Fulton since 2001. Snapped an 18-game losing streak to the Falcons. They secured a 3 seed with that win. They will go on the road, though, to play Elizabethton. Elizabethton has definitely got their season turned around. Elizabethton also came to Anderson County and took Anderson County into overtime earlier this year. So very difficult matchup there for Carter in the first round, but nevertheless, they are in, and they are going on the road with a lot of momentum. Started off the year like 0-3 or 1-3, and it definitely turned their season around. Final matchup in 4A in that top quadrant, Anderson County, 10-0 season yet again. They beat Scott High tonight. They will host a struggling Seymour team in the first round. So looks like we either get Anderson County versus Carter, Anderson County versus Elizabethton in that second round, and then possibly AC versus Greenville in round 3. So again, one more time in 4A, Fulton at Greenville, Granger at Gibbs. We'll find out where that game is soon. Carter at Elizabethton, and Seymour at Anderson County. A lot to get to in 5A tonight. There are some very complicated scenarios, and thankfully the TSSAA put out all those playoff possibilities earlier this week to allow us to scratch off who won, who lost, and narrow down who ended up winning these games. So let's start off in quadrant number 1 up in 5A. Halls picked up a huge win tonight over Heritage. That got the Red Devils into the playoffs, believe it or not, for first-year coach Brent Hughes, who his team had been competitive all season long. So many close losses, so many great outings, but just not a lot of wins. They win the game that matters the most. Beat Heritage tonight. They get the 4 seed. They go on the road to play a very good Daniel Boone, but nevertheless, hats off to Halls for getting into the 4A playoffs. I mentioned Central a minute ago. They took one on the chin tonight as expected against number 1 West, but they get the 2 seed out of region number 2. They will host Tennessee High in a first-round playoff game next week. Sevier County lost to Cott County tonight for the first time since 1998. They don't want it to feel like 1998, but it definitely is for Sevier County. They drop all the way down to a 3 seed, really struggling of late. They will go on the road to face an old nemesis in Morristown West, who has a great running back in Tyson Johnson and some of the area's best defensive talent up there in Morristown. So Sevier County at Morristown West in round 1. Of course, number 1 West, the number 1 team in the state in 5A, they get the region championship tonight. They will host David Crockett in the first round. Looking down into quadrant number 2, Powell hung on tonight to beat Lenoir City. They would have been the 1 seed either way, but they remain the 1 seed, the champion out of Region 3. They will host a struggling Ooltewah team. This is not the Ooltewah of 2005 by any means. Powell, again, hosting Ooltewah. I think he might have had 2 or 3 wins this year total. Moving on, Carnes will rematch with Walker Valley. I believe this is a first-round game from a year ago that Carnes won in a shootout. That game was at Carnes. Carnes is now a 3 seed. They will go on the road to Walker Valley next week. One of the more fun and intriguing matchups of 5A in round 1. Might see this game on TV. Ray County, Mark Pemberton, the former Catholic coach, in that wing T offense will come up to Oak Ridge, historic Blankenship Field, and play the Wildcats, who just dominated Campbell County tonight to get that number 2 seed coming out of Region 3 5A. So again, Ray County at Oak Ridge in round 1. Final game of quadrant number 2. Region 4 champion McMinn County will host Campbell County, and that's going to be an absolute fun matchup, a clash of styles, the strong run game, strong defense of McMinn County going up against the prolific passing numbers of Campbell County, who just did not have it going tonight against Oak Ridge. tip the cap to Scott Cummings out at Oak Ridge for getting that win tonight and shutting down that big-time offense. All right, let's run back through 5A one more time. A lot of games to review. Halls at Daniel Boone, Tennessee High at Central, Sevier County at Morristown West, David Crockett at West, Ooltewah at Powell, Carnes at Walker Valley, Ray County at Oak Ridge, and Campbell County at McMinn County. All right, let's flip the page into 6A. Not a lot of games to get to tonight, just a couple up in quadrant number 1. Bradley Central falls to Maryville tonight, so they drop down to a 4 seed. They will go on the road to play Science Hill, who tied up Dobbins Bennett late in the game. The few seconds left, botched their extra point try and ended up getting a 2-point conversion out of it for the win to knock off Dobbins Bennett by 2 points. So Science Hill is your Region 1 champion. Bradley Central at Science Hill in round 1. Jefferson County went nuts tonight. They win big. Isaiah Hall, their quarterback, had a monster night, I believe, in the first half. 9 of 9 passing, 226 yards, 4 touchdowns. Jefferson County put up a lot of points against Westridge tonight to secure a 3 seed out of Region 1. They will go on to face Farragut, a number 2 seed out of Region 2. I know Farragut had hopes of being a number 1 seed, but Maryville won tonight to go ahead and clinch that region. So Farragut, which beat Bearden on Thursday night by a touchdown, they get the 2 seed. They get the home playoff game, and will take on Spencer Riley's Jefferson County Patriots. Bearden ends up being a 3 seed after losing last night to Farragut. They will go on the road to play at Dobbins Bennett. And then finally, Morristown East gets into the playoffs. Hats off to Caleb Slover for sticking with it out there and getting that team into the postseason. Their reward, a trip to Maryville High School, which Maryville just absolutely dominated tonight. We kind of thought it might be a grinded out 1 to 2 touchdown win for Maryville, but Gage Ledoux, the running back, again, Noah Vaughn pretty much done for the year, the Virginia commitment at Maryville, but Gage Ledoux, 23 carries, 266 yards, 3 touchdowns. Maryville had a ton of turnovers tonight that they got enforced against Bradley Central. So big statement win for Maryville High School to go ahead and clinch that number 1 seed. All right, so let's look at it again in 6A. Bradley Central at Science Hill, Jefferson County at Farragut, Bearden at Dobbins Bennett, and Morristown East at Maryville. All right, that'll wrap up 6A. We're going to get one more break. When we come back, we're going to look into Division II brackets, and also we're going to roll a video, announce a really big announcement here on 5-Star Preps. If you missed it earlier tonight, we're going to unveil it again here in just a moment and talk about that. Stick with us here on 5-Star Live, presented by East Tennessee Spine and Sport.
North Knox Siding and Windows is a complete exterior home improvement company that can help you with all your exterior needs. Visit us today at 5618 North Broadway.
When you shop at Elliott's, your journey is our purpose.
If I do it once, I do it again. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up, I'm just doing me, everything is on me, oh you matter what, add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up, I'm just doing me, everything is on me, oh you matter what, add it up, told her if it's all me, everything is on me, gon' back it up.
East Tennessee, the foothills of the Smokies, beautiful lakes, Friday night heroes, and one red light small towns with more life than any big city, where orange and white is displayed. Yeah, the one and only home of the Tennessee Vols, but also the home of the 134th Air Refueling Wing Volunteers. You might catch us in the beautiful skies of East Tennessee, flying the time-tested, irreplaceable, world-traveling, aerial refueling KC-135. Yeah, you heard that right. We refuel other aircraft while traveling the world at over 30,000 feet and 500 miles an hour. The amazing thing is, that's really not the 134th Air Refueling Wing's greatest strength. Our greatest strength is our airmen, our warriors, who have answered our nation's call. Guardians of freedom and justice, not only in our beautiful hills, but worldwide. They are our sentries and avengers, defending our country with their lives. They are the best of us, wingmen, leaders, and warriors, and you best believe they will never falter or fail. Flying, fighting, and winning, they are American Airmen and Tennessee Air National Guardsmen. So what are you waiting for? It's time to join the hometown team. Visit GoANG.com or call 1-800-TO-GO-ANG.
Welcome back into 5 Star Live, presented by East Tennessee Spine and Sport. Final segment here at Gold Star Nutrition up here off of Emory Road in Knoxville. Make sure you stop by there anytime you need nutritional needs, supplemental needs. Got cryotherapy chamber, just everything. And again, what I love about the store is that it's not overwhelming. They have exactly what you need. You're not going to have to sit in here and look around for 30 minutes. Staff is fantastic, and they're going to get you everything that you are looking for in a quick fashion. So, all right, as promised, we're going to flip the page into Division II. We've already unveiled all the area pairings for Division I teams 1A through 6A. You can go back and watch that earlier in the show, but we do have some teams in Division II that are very much still alive. We'll start in Division II Single A. That's your small private schools. Lakeway Christian into the playoffs as a 4 seed. They will go on the road next week to play Clarksville Academy. If they happen to win that game, they will play a 1 seed in University School of Jackson. TKA, Jonathan Sellers does a fantastic job with the Lions out there. They've had injuries. They've had players leave the program. They are still a 3 seed, so hats off to Jonathan Sellers, that staff, and the Lions out there at TKA. But they will have to go all the way to West Tennessee for a first-round playoff game to take on Trinity Christian. If they win that game, they will get a 1 seed in Nashville Christian School, who won a region championship tonight. So, again, Lakeway Christian at Clarksville Academy in round 1. TKA, the Kings Academy, at Trinity Christian School in round 1 in the Division IIA playoffs. Looking into Division II AA, Webb knocked off Chattanooga Christian School tonight, 29-28. They win a region championship. They finish off an undefeated regular season in David Beskey's final year here at Webb School in Knoxville. But what happens is that 1 seed puts them in the lower half of the bracket with Lipscomb Academy, that Trent Dilfer nationally ranked program, defending state champions, who's just been running roughshod all over everyone this year. Webb, if they happen to make it to the state semifinals, that's when they will play Lipscomb Academy. We talked all week in the pregame show tonight, halftime show tonight. Webb kind of needed to lose that game if they had a chance to make it to the state championship game, but they'll take their chances against Lipscomb Academy in the state semifinals. Webb has a bye in round 1. They won that tonight via their win over Chattanooga Christian School. They, again, 29-28. They got them a first-round bye. They will not start the playoffs until November 11th. Grace Christian, Justin Long, congratulations to the Rams and Coach Long. They will be a 5 seed out of the Division II AA East region. They will play on the road at Franklin Road Academy next week in round 1. Again, Grace Christian at FRA, Webb School of Knoxville won the region championship tonight, undefeated season. They will be a 1 seed. They get a bye next week in the first round of the playoffs. If they do happen to face Lipscomb Academy, we're looking at a Friday, November 18th matchup between those 2 programs in the state semifinals. And then finally, Catholic High School ended up being the 5 seed out of the East region. They will go on the road all the way to Memphis to face Christian Brothers High School, the 4 seed out of the West. If Catholic wins that, they will rematch with NBA which absolutely just took them back behind the woodshed tonight. They're the number 1 team in the state. They are the 1 seed out of the East region. So again, if Catholic wins in round 1 against Christian Brothers over in Memphis, they will rematch with MBA in round 2. All right, that does it for the brackets. As I mentioned on social media, a huge announcement that we unveiled in the pregame show tonight. Let's go ahead and get to that video. What you just saw was our first hype video for the 5-Star Preps Hoop Jam. We're talking about 2 days of basketball in the city of Knoxville, downtown, presented by Visit Knoxville at the Civic Coliseum. Your top boys and girls team in the state. A lot of athletes that Tennessee, the University of Tennessee is recruiting, has offered or maybe has committed. We're bringing them here. Dunk contest is going to be live. We're going to have 3-point competition. You can get a 1-day pass, you can get a weekend pass, but December 16th, December 17th at the Civic Coliseum, 2 full days of some of the best high school basketball that this state has to offer. We're bringing in talent from all around the area, filling up hotels, and a massive dunk competition that's going to happen. We're going to open it up on social media as well and kind of bring in 1 or 2 athletes from the area whose maybe teams aren't in the field but might be extraordinary dunkers. So keep an eye on that. We're going to have a social media competition where people can nominate players, send in dunk videos, and say, hey, this guy needs to be in your dunk competition at the 5-Star Preps Hoop Jam. So just think of it as the Arby's Classic, except right here in our backyard in Knoxville. The 5-Star Preps Hoop Jam, presented by Visit Knoxville, December 16th and 17th, Friday, Saturday in downtown Knoxville. Tickets will go on sale the first week of December. You'll be able to purchase those on Ticketmaster. We'll put out links on social media. We'll have a way for you to log on to 5starpreps.com and purchase those tickets. Again, you can sit courtside. You can have a luxury suite. You can buy a weekend pass and just sit there and enjoy boys and girls basketball for 2 days straight. But very excited to bring this to you here in the Knoxville area. Stay tuned for details of the 5-Star Preps Hoop Jam. We've had a lot of area coaches pour a lot of time and effort into this, and a lot's going to be coming out in the days to come and weeks to come, and we'll promote it more and more as we get closer to the event. But did want to unveil that tonight, the 5-Star Preps Hoop Jam, definitely coming up in about a month and a half. So that does it here for us tonight, 5-Star Live. We had 3 shows here, pregame, halftime, and postgame. I'm going to go back home. I'm going to type up all those playoff pairings for the entire state. We got a lot of video, a lot of photo, a lot of stories to come on the website tonight, 5starpreps.com. Make sure you are subscribed. If you're not, use coupon code LIVE25. You'll get 25% off your first month or year payment. We got a lot of fantastic coverage coming your way over the next 5 weeks as we get closer to the Blue Cross Bowls in Chattanooga, and look for a lot of area teams to win state championships this year. So congratulations to all the teams that made the playoffs. We'll see you next week in round 1 right here on 5-Star Live.
You're watching 5-Star Live, presented by East Tennessee Spine and Sport. Tennessee's #1 high school football show. Live on location from the biggest game of the week. Live interviews from coaches and players, along with highlights, predictions, and up-to-date information about this week's biggest games. Your hosts, Jesse Smithy and Kevin Smith, with decades of experience covering and coaching high school sports, along with a 5-Star Preps team, will break down region outlooks and what's to come for your favorite prep football teams and top players. Now, get ready for the most comprehensive high school football coverage in Tennessee on 5-Star Live.
Are you ready for some football?
We're ready for some football, baby.